Happy Sunday, kids. I just rolled out of bed about 30 minutes ago and I wanted to get this in this morning. So, number one, today is the draft lottery pick. It will be this evening I have notes here because I need them. At 6:30 p.m. this evening, Eastern Time, on ESPN and the ESPN app. Okay. And the five teams who are vying for the top five picks are the Dallas Wings, the Minnesota Lynx, the Seattle Storm, the Washington Mystics, and the Chicago Sky. Now, people probably wondering how the Minnesota Lynx wound up with the best record in the league and with a number one pick. But remember that there was a lot of movement last year, and the Lynx ended up with the pick because of a trade. Okay, um, the Lynx, took the Sky's first uh, pick, um, and they're going to end up with one of the top five players in the league. Plain and simple. Okay. Um, the Sparks traded their first round pick to the Storm in exchange for Kia Nurse. Um, and the Sky acquired the right to swap first round picks with the Sun in 2026 and a July 2024 trade that involved Marina Mabrey. So that's who's going to be Wings, Lynx, Storm, Mystic, Sky. Okay, because the Sky had a couple. Now, we're going to watch this and we're going to see how this goes because we are now on the 23rd of November and the first 30-day extension of the CBA negotiations is up in 7 days. And I expect we'll either see some kind of an agreement or we will see yet another extension. There is absolutely no reason to go into panic mode. You will remember that there were two extensions in the 2020 negotiations, and it was stated in one of the articles I posted in a video a few days ago that we could go as far as February 1. Now, now that's cutting it very close with everything that has to happen this year. We have expansion draft and everything else, but we will be watching very closely what happens now. Okay, according to all the articles I'm reading, the WNBA thinks um, the last league proposal was a joke, but we always get that. There's a lot of posturing and a lot of, quite frankly, bullshit that goes on with these things. So we'll see. We'll see. So now let's talk about an article I saw in Sportico about another mock draft other than the one that I've posted and talked about. And analysts are starting to get, a clearer picture about what teams may be doing. Now, with the Indiana Fever, I said that in the mock draft that I put in a video, they had guards at both positions in the first round at number 10 and the second round at number 25. And there is an article here that says, look, they're going to build around Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark. It's as simple as that. They're not building around Kelsey Mitchell, no matter what you're hearing out of anyone's mouth anywhere else. Kelsey Mitchell is priority number one for free agents, and rightfully so with the season she had. Okay, rightfully so. Okay, but Kelsey Mitchell will be 30 when she comes back to play. And, she's got plenty of years left. Okay, there are people playing until their mid-30s in the WNBA all the time. But they are not building around Kelsey Mitchell. They need Kelsey Mitchell back because she plays fantastic with Caitlin Clark in the guard tandem, okay, as a guard tandem. They are building around Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark. They're two number one picks in 2023 and 2024. Okay, simple as that. All right. This prediction is that the Fever want, as they're picking at number 10, and they're saying it's a deep class of players in the first round, to get Medina Alcott from South Carolina. So there's only one. Now she's a 6'6" center, okay, which means that Aaliyah Boston could play power forward at 6'5". Picture a 6'6" and a 6'5" in your front court, okay. She could play power forward. Now she's a native of Kenya, and she helped Mississippi State reach the second round in the NCAA tournament, and then she transferred, and she's averaging at South Carolina. She was averaging 13.2 points, 10.6 rebounds, and 2.0 blocks per night. So the one thing that is standing in the way of this is that she could have another year of collegiate eligibility remaining, and the NCAA may grant it if the university files a waiver. And, you know, the Gamecocks are headed by Dawn Staley, and they believe she will do everything to try to keep Alcott. Okay? So we'll see how this shakes out. This sounds good to me. I mean, I would take this. You know, there's no question that the Fever are going to be rebuilding again at the end, after the end of the season. As good as some of these players were that came in and got them all the way to the semifinals, it's a different story when you're moving into another season here. You know, they're going to look at those players who delivered for them, but they're going to look elsewhere as well. And again, both of these articles about Alcott and the ESPN timing for the draft lottery today will be in the body of the video, will be in the description of the video. So we'll see where this goes, right? And I am, as I told you yesterday, going to look into the two guards that are projected in the last mock draft. I will also post these articles in the on the Facebook page. So we can discuss all of this either on the video page or on Facebook page or on both. Okay, that's what they're there for. Now, I found a little highlight reel. I'm not going to play this whole thing. This is a movie. All right, this is billed as a movie. I have not watched the whole thing yet, but basically the title is that Caitlin Clark destroys league veterans in year 2. So this would be her injury year. Now, it's over an hour long, but it's got highlights, okay? And I mean, it's got highlights from what I've seen of it. I've seen the first maybe 20 minutes of it. So I'm going to just show you a few, and I'm going to put this video in as well, and I will put this video on the Facebook page. I'm trying to cross-post as much as possible. I'm going to start cross-posting the videos onto the Facebook page as well. So we're trying to build the Facebook page. I'm going to have to start sharing it. By the way, guys, if you're on Facebook, share the page on Facebook to see if we can find some more Caitlin Clark fans, okay? Now, I have changed the parameters of the group in one respect. I'm not allowing groups to join the page because I'm noticing there are a lot of private groups joining the page and a lot of Caitlin Clark private chat, and that's bullshit. Caitlin Clark is not on Facebook. She doesn't like Facebook. She's not, doesn't have a presence there. The only place where Caitlin Clark hangs out is Instagram. So those pages could be a potential source of a lot of misinformation. And I've decided we don't want to open it up that much. So I'm switching that, but let's take a look at some of these highlights before I close out this video. I'm going to bring this all the way back to the beginning. We'll just watch a few minutes of this so I can jump in the shower.
And at guard from Iowa, wearing number 22, Caitlin Clark.
After 222 days, Caitlin Clark is back, and it looked like she never left.
For Brazil, here's Clark. Wow! You bet! From beyond the logo! And a little point afterwards!
Her longest three yet in her preseason debut of year 2. Absolutely insane. Even with a minor left thigh injury, there was no way Caitlin Clark was missing a sold-out crowd in her old Iowa nest. And with the Fever's new signings on board, you could feel it. This game against Brazil was going to be something special. And from the jump, it took just 30 seconds. First possession, first shot, like she never left.
Salino can't finish. Here comes Clark in transition. Clark, pull up three. You bet!
And it didn't take long for her partner in threes, Kelsey Mitchell, to follow suit.
Mitchell, why not?
It was clear her teammates didn't slack in the offseason, and CC rewarded that effort.
Eyes up, finding Boston on a dime. Able to finish on the follow.
However, it wasn't all sunshine. There was a little rust, both from Caitlin and her teammates.
Turn. Nice pocket pass. Boston could...
Maybe it was the injury, or the 222 days away, but Caitlin clearly needed a moment to find her rhythm.
Season. Clark. Off on that one.
Thankfully, the Fever's ball movement was sharp, and the new signing stepped up right on cue.
Dumps it to Boston. Bonner will fire away and knock it down.
That's an area we saw throughout the course of last season.
After a quick muscle activation on the sideline, Caitlin checked back in and surprised everyone by shining where you'd least expect it.
Next, the option of having Clark on the floor with Sydney Colson so she can play a little bit more off the ball. As you see a great block from Clark there.
Yeah, she wants to try and give Clark.
And on offense, she effortlessly found the open player, reading the floor like she never missed a beat.
Clark bodying inside, wraps a pass. Good movement here. Cunningham. Plus the foul.
The Fever's game plan for the season is clear. Elite ball movement, and with Caitlin leading the charge.
We will all stand on our heads. I don't know exactly what that means, but I do know they were excited about her still being there.
And that didn't take all too long.
Clark hit her first attempt for three as 3 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 9 points for Kelsey Mitchell. Clark, what up?
She ended the first with a 3 and came right back to start the second with another one.
Opening quarter. Kelsey Mitchell with 9 points. Clark, a bomb. Is good.
3 threes already, and her vision was just as sharp. Even when her teammates couldn't always finish the plays,
what a pass. Tips in.
Caitlin was threading passes like a vet.
Clark in a crowd comes down with it. An Olay pass. Timpson gets down.
And the Fever's ball movement was on another level. Crisp, unselfish, and relentless. Everyone was getting involved.
Turner over to Hull. She got it. Another 3 for Indiana, their 9th of the half.
You've seen Indiana go with a variety of small...
But Caitlin didn't just rely on the ball movement.
...thing they have on the floor.
Clark drives, stops, and lays. 11 points for Caitlin Clark in this first half.
The crowd was loving every second, and the Brazil squad seemed to fan out, but Caitlin wasn't handing out any mercy.
Here today, the number already.
They're 11 of 15 as Howard, 3 is off with Queiroz. Here comes Clark, down the floor, touchdown! Clark to Bonner.
Girl is amazing.
Caitlin came to put on a show, and as the Fever's lead grew, it became clear Brazil didn't stand a chance.
Here's Clark. Clark on the drive, gets to the cup. 13 for Caitlin Clark in this first half.
With a 46-point lead heading into halftime, the game was no longer competitive, but that didn't stop CC from putting her full game on display.
Here's Clark. Off the turnover, Clark dishes, Boston floats it in.
But it was still a process for her teammates, getting used to those lightning-quick dimes coming their way.
Back from Mitchell, Clark. Extra feed, Boston leaves it short.
So, every now and then, Caitlin took matters into her own hands.
Catch, attack, floater is good. Here's Clark. Oh, what a look. Mitchell the extra feed, and Boston is fouled.
But her best moment of the game was still on the way. In the meantime, the dimes kept coming in.
And here comes Clark. Clark backdoor, nice find, and the layup is good. Strong finish from Egypt on the dime from Clark.
Not only a great baseline.
With just seconds left in the third, Caitlin decided to do something she has never done before.
Clark, wow! You from beyond the logo, and a little point afterwards. She knows how to spark the crowd.
A 36-foot bomb, her longest three ever in her very first game back. You can't make this up. Pure Caitlin Clark magic. That would be her final appearance of the night, ending it on the perfect high note. 16 points, 4 threes, 5 assists, and 6 rebounds. Year 2
So, gang, we're going to stop it there.
just kicked off, and the WNBA wasted no time giving
Yeah, we are. We're going to, oh, yeah, no, we're not going to stop it there
a
because,
matchup that always draws a crowd, and this one didn't
no,
disappoint.
we're not. Because, you know, once again, I'm challenged.
Caitlin Clark.
There we go. Now we're going to stop it there. Okay. So, look, I think the thing that they were talking throughout this video, they talk about elite ball movement. That's not going to change, okay? That, to me, is the one feature of any team that guarantees it can keep the opponent off kilter, is when you can move the ball, okay? When I was watching the Bird years in Boston, that was the one thing that the Bird years showed me, was that if you kept the ball moving, all right, if you were less predictable, that it was very difficult to defend a team like that, against a team like that. So we will continue to see that. That will be a staple. And once again, let me just say this, moving without the ball is a core feature of being able to move the ball. So that's all going to be part of the game here. This is the pros, and this is where it goes. And I don't understand people who worry about whether or not that takes away from Caitlin's game. Caitlin Clark is an elite passer. And moving without the ball enables you to, A, get open for a shot and be able to receive the ball from your opponent. I mean, from your teammate. So moving without the ball needs to remain a staple, okay? That's part of the game in the pros, okay? It's part of the game in college as well. It's not any different, except it's I don't know. In the pros, it's a little bit more difficult because, as Caitlin Clark says, the physicality is difficult in the pros compared to college ball. She has said that herself. The defense is tighter, and it's an adjustment. So we will continue to see that, I believe, from the Indiana Fever. You know, we know that Aaliyah Boston, even as a 6'5" center / forward, is a good passer. Okay, she's no slouch passing the ball. So that's part of her game as well. And if we manage to get a 6'6" center, and we free up Aaliyah Boston to do a little bit more with the ball, but we'll see how it goes. You know, it could very well be that once again we end up with Aaliyah Boston playing very much a hybrid game as she has this past year. We're going to have to see how this all shakes out. But I will be back. I will be back hopefully later tonight to talk again after the draft lottery is over, because I've got my daughter coming home today for a while. I'll be spending the day with her. So I will see you guys later. You have a great day.